Hello, my beautiful brothers and sisters, beautiful siblings. Welcome to Brother Earth Healing. It's so nice to be with you. This is our end of the month video, end of the month review and reflections for June 2020. A lot of movement this month, a lot going on. And I'm feeling really great about this reading, so I'm gonna get started. I've been trying to thank everybody, in especially just with this first month of being on YouTube, of doing the recordings, for all the support, and yeah, I feel very grateful. Yeah, very lucky to have so many of you surrounding me and supporting, and yeah, to kind of share. And for me, it's a real gift to do this kind of work and to offer something for you all as well. And I definitely benefit greatly from it, as well as I look back at the videos and see what comes through. So yeah, if you would continue support just by liking the video on YouTube, and can subscribe to the channel if you feel resonant with what I'm sharing here, with what's coming through. Just being aware that I do read intuitively, and maybe a little bit different than other tarot channels. But yeah, just taking what resonates for you, and really kind of allowing yourself to be open to receive. So we're going to do a little bit of, take a couple breaths together, enter the space. And then, yeah, offer a little bit of gratitude, offer some prayers before we get started. We're just going to take a couple breaths to settle in. Just allowing a sense of ease, really putting down our preoccupations, putting down anything that's keeping us from just coming back to ourselves. As we drop into this present moment, dropping into this space, really being here, I invite you to just open yourself up. We allow a sense of openness, non-judgment, just really feeling open to receive clearly what the messages are for your highest good and your healing. Great. That feels pretty good to me. I'm going to offer a little bit of gratitude as well. We want to come together to offer gratitude, deep gratitude, deep thanks for our ancestors, both our blood ancestors as well as our spiritual ancestors and heritage. Thank you so much for all the support. The 3 times, as we say in Buddhism, the past, what has been laid, the ground that has been laid for us, the support and the love that is right here and now, currently being offered, and the support that we know is going to be continued into the future. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So much love to you. Thank you. So I'm feeling very, I've been getting some really interesting messages so far when I was doing my meditation before recording. I got messages certainly for different groups again. So I was relating to a group that I feel is having more of a difficult time. It feels very, yeah, quite nervous, and a little bit, yeah, quite some fear in there. I feel like coming back to your grounding, which I'm kind of led to say that you do have those resources for many. Yeah, just coming back to that, coming back to if you do have a meditation practice or any kind of practice that grounds you. Yeah, it's something as simple as taking a few breaths when you feel like, that anxiety, whatever it is, coming up. just really taking the time to be present and care for yourself to do that. Yeah. And I'm also picking up on, I really dropped in to a very grounded place very quickly, quicker than usual. And I'm kind of feeling like there's quite a few of you that are experiencing that. Particularly the past week, I had been feeling a lot of, a lot of clarity, a lot of really clear signs in the movements in my life, the things that I'm, decisions, things like that. Yeah. So I'm just going to go ahead and start pulling some cards out. Yeah. I feel like I'm feeling folks are really connecting to the ground, like to the real physical earth. And for those that maybe aren't, that there's an invitation to do that. I'm going to turn this around as well. Okay, they want me to share a little bit about this. The other thing that I got was, I was feeling this very new, fresh start, beginning. Like those feelings, that energy come up really strongly. And I'm definitely, just kind of guided to say that that's great. I think that many of us are having a lot of new, fresh starts. I think as a result of a lot that has happened this past month, which for me certainly has been a lot, and in the readings and tuning in, it's been like that for all of us in a collective way. Yeah, I don't feel any kind of, so I got, so that was kind of what came up when I was doing a meditation before tapping in, before recording, and this is what came up, our first card, the Fool, right? The sort of adventure, kind of taking a step off the cliff and kind of knowing the ground is coming up to meet us, right? And having that faith. I feel like there's this toolbox, right? Like you have the tools, like you really do have, you really do have the tools to get to where you want to be. And I'm feeling, when I say that, in more of a internal sense, where you want to be internally, getting to a place where you really have a certain mastery over your emotions and feelings and are able to let things pass through. Having anger arise or negative emotions, like really learning to allow that to pass through, as opposed to clinging on and very tightly. I feel like a whole lot of maturity coming up. And I think that, and I've been getting this across the board, that many of us have been doing some really deep work and healing, and that it's going unrecognized by ourselves. Like we aren't truly recognizing ourselves for that work. And so I think so a great antidote is just is really having really reflecting on where we've come from, where our family has come from, and recognizing that something that comes up that's been a theme for me this month is or a theme for us this month, and the readings I've been doing is this concept of you don't always have to go seeking your ancestral traumas, that obviously they do spill into our life and they do affect us, and it is good work to do, right? It is important work to do, but we don't have to go for that as the first thing when we begin to do ancestral work. That is very deep and can be very challenging, in many ways, very challenging kind of work. And a good friend of mine and was sharing with me, who does a lot of ancestral work, and she's practices in the Andean shamanic tradition. she was sharing with me about like really learning to connect and ask to connect with ancestors that have done that work, you know, that have done their healing, and asking for support in that way really helps us with that harder, you know, more challenging work. And it's a beautiful way to connect, you know. I think it's kind of goes to this more heart-centered approach to how we do things in a general way, right? Starting with love, starting with, you know, with that as the driving force, right? Propelling us and propelling our actions. And whereas like going towards the trauma immediately is like almost like this fear-based sort of thing, where it's like, oh, I have to do this or else, you know, I'm going to feel guilty, or else I'm going to suffer, or, you know what I mean? So this is a way that we can really change the way that we approach action, because there's a lot of steps that come before action. There's a lot coming out right now. I'm going to actually pull a couple of these cards. I feel like there's a lot marinating right now. A lot, okay. A lot, wow, beautiful, okay. So let me read, okay, wow. So I pulled the Fool, right? This was the first card I pulled, right? And then at the bottom of the deck came out King of Cups in reverse. Okay, in that deck. Okay, and then I pulled out 3 other cards in my, you know, classic Rider-Waite deck. And the bottom of the deck, after I pulled those cards, was also the King of Cups reversed. So I'm just gonna read this and we'll see what's going on here. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. Work. Yeah, I feel like there's a developing diligence. I feel like many are developing a diligence, and I think it's being propelled in part by truly by the suffering that's arising because of all of because so many things being brought to light in the, you know, social justice realm, and as well in other areas too, like really feeling like there's quite a bit of work to be done. Past due work is what I'm feeling. I feel many venturing out of their comfort zone, like really out of like leaving home. And that might be the case for many. I know that a lot of people aren't like moving, but I don't think that it's as much. It might be true for some, but I don't think it really is as much as, I don't think that it's as much the physical moving out, right, leaving home. I think that it's more, I'm feeling it's more of a, like leaving, like a graduation, right, like graduating beyond patterning, bad habits, yeah, really feeding into this Fool energy. That's really very central here. Very, very central. And I think that it's also a suggestion, or invitation for many who, you know, might not feel ready, this or that. I certainly feel like there's a real readiness. There's a lot of support in that direction. Yeah. I think that people, I feel like this, again, like real unacknowledging, like really not acknowledging you know, the work that you're doing. I do feel that strongly for both, yeah, for like across the board for this group. It's funny because I'm getting a lot of water. I'm feeling a lot of water. I'm feeling a lot of emotional energy that would be associated with water. I'm feeling like a lot of earth signs are really tapping in there, and it's rough waters. But it's this real, genuine, really beautiful, genuine wanting to go towards, to lift the veil from your eyes and really like be a witness to the reality of our world and to the suffering of others and your own suffering, your own work. And there's an invitation to, like, well, that's like such an incredibly beautiful and noble, and I am also feeling like natural movement in your life. It feels very natural and genuine. Yeah, there's an invitation to, again, coming back to our foundational roots, the tool, whatever is in our toolbox that has helped us, and if we don't feel like we have that, then seeking that. I think that many of us have really, for whatever reason or the other, really feel like we're in a really good position right now to do it. And like I've been feeling for quite a while now, like the ground is very fertile for us to be doing a lot of transformative work, a lot of evolving as a people, and yeah, evolving past things that are, you know, nonsense, like racism and such. I feel a lot of support. Yeah, I feel a lot of yeah, a lot of immediate support, and then with folks in your life, but then also a lot of spiritual support. Yeah, really behind that, offering guidance. And so for those of you that are that do feel like a little bit more tapped in, have like a pretty strong connection to, you know, spirit or God, or however you see that, you know, source. Yeah, there's I think that there's some dots to be connected is what I heard. There's some dots to be connected having to do with where you are and where you are / where you're going, the direction. Okay, and the work you've done. Okay. And really taking ownership of, taking ownership, that's an important thing as well, is what I'm hearing. Taking ownership. So that's, works both ways, right? So we take ownership of, in a non-discriminatory way, right? So when things, I feel like I don't need to explain that. And it's this, and that's such an important message for you right now. I'm really feeling that, because it's like the earth has opened, like this, I'm getting this image of like the earth, the ground just opening, tearing open. And coming out of it is just this outpour of revelation, of insight and wisdom to tap into. Just being freely offered and given and available. And I think that is arising in physicality, or in a way that we can understand through this, you know, big movement, you know, with Black Lives Matter and everything. And, you know, nobody's perfect. You know, there is obviously some violence arising from, there is violence arising even amongst people that might mean well, and other unskillfulness that's arising by people that mean well in these movements, right? Which is why having that clarity is so important, and having your practice, your toolbox, you know, very stable in your life, very present in your life, in your day-to-day. And if you really don't feel like you have resources, or if you want more resources and resonate with what I'm sharing, then please reach out, and I'd be more than happy to share with you other resources and work one-on-one with you as well. I am doing quite a bit of like for certain offerings. For some of my offerings, I am doing like a donation based kind of stuff. So just to like really put myself out there to support and really offer some really valuable support to people. So if you feel called, please, and especially if you feel called and don't have those resources, you know, I do all kinds of trades, and like I said, I'm very open. So please, if you feel like you need support, then please reach out, and don't worry about anything else. So there's one last thing that wants to come out before I flip it. Okay, and it's coming back to this lack of recognition. Okay, this lack of recognition. So as we're peeling, as we really are having this experience of having the veils lifted, you know, the filters being kind of taken off of our sight, and really beginning to see clearly our own suffering, our own achievements, or suffering in the world, and the progress that's happening as well right now. Remaining balanced and really doing your best to avoid weighing out. I feel like a lot of people are weighing out, oh, like, is there more good than bad happening right now? Like, you know, weighing, judging. This is not what's important right now. What's important is that we strive, act, and are very active and diligent in doing our best to play our part in the evolution, in our own evolution, in the, you know, humankind's evolution and betterment. That is what's really important, quite important. That's the point. That's the point. So by reminding yourself, writing this down, I have like a little whiteboard in my room too that I write things down on that are super important, that come up. Having something to look at that reminds you, even something on your phone, or even like a reminder, like a timer every day for a certain time, or like right when you wake up or whatever, you know what I mean? Little sticky notes. People have different ways of doing it, but really like doing your best to remember what's important. What's the point of all this that's happening? What role do you want to play? And investigating that, right? Instead of this weighing out. Yeah. So that was really great. That's really great. I feel like in a big way too, as I'm sharing and hearing all of this come out, I'm also really feeling like many are, that this is a big part of stepping into your own as stepping into your own as someone, who is grounded and like really able to be unbiased, non-discriminatory in your actions and speech, and really speak from a place of wisdom that's not that's clear, that with clarity, not taking sides, taking the side of maybe the earth, taking the side of. So I've been getting this coming up like so strongly, like siblinghood, you know, sisterhood, brotherhood. That this is really what's important right now. That we really focus on understanding what the barriers are that we have, both in our minds and our ideology, as well as in the physical world, and why those are still in place, and how can we dissolve those and begin to really truly see each other as siblings, you know, and treat each other that way, despite whatever differences there may be on the outside or culturally, and celebrating those differences and realizing that they're part of the human culture, not just, you know, culture based on borders, you know, based on countries, you know, really taking on human culture, right? Human culture. And this is just something I'm more and more, the more I remember hearing this so clearly, which came out this past weekend. We did a little, we did some offering, a little online offering for the summer solstice, a little arts and healing virtual thing. And I channeled a little bit, and this just came out so strongly. And since then, it's just been so, like, I've been just feeling so much more clear about that, about this. And more and more, it just makes me feel so, I feel so dumbfounded, so unable to understand how we got to this point of boxing ourselves in and only identifying with culture, you know, as defined by borders, by country, by color of our skin. You know, these are also ways we divide ourselves. And I think in a big way, our work is to learn to undo that. And that is like the evolution that I'm seeing that needs to happen right now. How do we adopt a culture, human culture, in a way that's, you know, where we can share that. And I feel like many of you tuning in that are hearing this have a lot to do with that, have not only really the real ability to help manifest this kind of change, but that this is, what came up is inevitable, that this is inevitable. And it's a matter of how grimy is it going to get before we, you know, like, are we willing to really put in the work now to, I'm hearing, save lives, which certainly makes a lot of sense. Because it's much more than changing policy. And in some way, I'm even called to say it has nothing to do with changing policy. It has nothing to do with politics, you know. We're so, like, I'm just feeling like we put so many of these walls. Interesting. I was just about to say that, and these cards came out. I feel like we're just putting so many of these walls. I'm going to flip this over upright, actually. There's so many of these walls in front of us, right? That we've put up. This is what I'm getting really strongly. These walls that we've put up. Okay? Obstacles of our own making. Our own boxing in of ourselves, right? Out of fear, out of wanting ourselves to be safe. And I just, yeah, again, I think I'm just getting really overall that it's just, there's a lot of, this is the time. And there are many doors being opened, many opportunities, many people that are also, more and more people that are more willing to kind of have these conversations and more open, just more open in general. Space, I'm just feeling the space, you know. Excuse me. And I feel like in a big way that has to do with everyone being home now, for them, you know, or many people being home now. And regardless of if they meditate or are spiritual or whatever, you know, even if we're just sitting home watching TV, you know, which I'm sure is many people, there's inevitably this space now and the collective energy that is helping to shift the collective consciousness, which is always there. I mean, there's always collective consciousness. We're constantly being constantly changing, constantly affecting everyone. And there is inevitably for everybody this opportunity to reflect, and this reflecting happen regardless of how conscious or not, conscious of it we are or not. Okay, what is this about? Hmm? I need some more for this. Hold on. Sorry, guys, 1 second. Heart. As soon as I said it, okay. Yeah, I think what's happening, what I'm feeling is this really coming back to the heart space. Yeah, really coming back to our own hearts and seeing that as, in a way, a golden key, right? Like really acting, speaking from the heart, you know, living and experiencing, you know, not so much up here, constantly analyzing, you know, up here, but really learning to live down here in the heart space, feeling more than we analyze, right? Connecting with that. And for many, that's very painful. It's a very difficult thing because it's painful. It can be painful. And many people don't have the tools, you know. There's many more resources in education for how to navigate the mind than there is for how to navigate emotions, you know, and the heart. And that is another thing that's really shifting here with the work that I do, and many like me teach a lot of, you know, spiritual and meditation teachers and things like that. This is what the teachings are. A very central part of the teachings is about understanding and dealing with emotions. And because those are, you know, very integral to the spiritual life and being tapped in to yourself and around you. Like the heart is this amazing gateway into spirit and into energy, really tapping into energy. Yeah. Queen of Pentacles here. Yeah. I feel like that's pretty potent, what's coming through. And I think something to reflect on and maybe watch the video another time or two. Certainly I will. I want to see if there's anything else that wants to come out here. Yeah, I just feel like there's a lot of pain. There's a lot, I really feel that. And the pain is causing a lot of confusion, is what I'm picking up on for someone or some folks. The pain is causing a lot of confusion because it's like we want to go towards it. We want to open up, right? I think the antidote, from what I'm getting, is that, and the advice, the suggestion is don't feel like you have to do that work alone, right? We're here all together. So many of, you know, us, so many of your siblings all around you. You know, there are many safe spaces to go deeper and to feel supported. I am hosting a lot of several different circles and groups. Feel free to reach out if you're interested. for sharing and, practicing together, going deeper together, with folks that really, creating a space together that's safe and sacred to be heard, and really go deeper and understand our collective situation, and to heal together as well, right? Healing. Yeah. I feel like there's this real hesitation to go and seek, right? I had this analogy come up before, but it's like, it's like jumping into the ocean, like at first you're kind of like a little nervous. You're like, oh, it's gonna be super cold. And that, this is hard, this is hard work. But there's something about, when you have the gang around you, when you have the boys, when you're out with the boys, like, or whatever, with your friends, like, there's something about that when you all just go running in together, right? That really resonates, right? And so this is the image that I'm getting, and what I'm feeling is like, go as a community, yeah, having all of that support is just, especially if you haven't had that before, if you really haven't felt connected to a community in that way, large or small, whatever, or have had bad experiences with spiritual groups or groups in general, or, some kind of groups, whatever, not all people are, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really beautiful people and beautiful groups and support there, and it does take a little bit of seeking and looking, but, to find what really resonates. I completely understand that. But I think that there's an invitation to really just, really go out there, really go look, and don't give up, don't give up, on that journey, on that exploring, remember that kind of full energy, that kind of, brand new, like really allow that sense of sense of adventure, sense of this joyful going towards your healing, this joyfully going through your journey, while there are moments of pain. The pain isn't all there is, and the suffering isn't, it isn't you, it isn't your, that's not your essence, right? That these are things that are passing through, that are coming through as teachers in a way where we, to help us learn and to teach us things, to teach us to work with them, right? I'm gonna pull a couple of other cards. This has been really amazing. I love this. And I have quite a bit of earth in my chart too. I've got like 5 planets in like earth signs. 3 of them are like Capricorn, and then I have like my Virgos rising. And I'm Brother Earth, so that also really sacred connection to the earth. So it doesn't surprise me that this really resonates with me too. And all of them have been really resonating with me. And this was one of the things I've been trying to share. I'm trying to remember to share with all the videos, is that every one of the videos, especially if you're resonating with what's coming out, all of the videos have like another piece of the puzzle. It's I think when you resonate with somebody, delivering messages, there's some connection there that really is worth going deeper into. I've been getting this card for every single thing. And the other thing that's been coming through for all of the signs, for as a, in collective messages, is that we're all experiencing like a very collective experience, and it's allowing us to an opportunity to connect with each other, because we're all experiencing something so similar. Particularly with this virus, we have to be able to see and look for the ways that circumstances, regardless of if we are seeing them as positive or negative, or experiencing them as positive or negative, about how they offer opportunities. What opportunities are there because of this, you know? And this is another way that we look beyond, right? That we go deeper. We look beyond the circumstance. We take off that filter that's, you know, that blinds us, that doesn't allow us to see what are the opportunities. I am getting these same cards for every single reading from this deck, from this oracle deck. This is the Angels and Ancestors oracle deck. It's definitely one of my favorites, easily. Yeah, I've been getting these, I've been getting these same cards. I literally got these same 2 cards in the last reading. Enjoy growth and reap rewards. Sorry if it's a little bit loud outside. There's some folks playing basketball and listening to music or something. And I'm going to do the same thing that I was doing before. This is a little technique that somebody taught me, a really great reader taught me. So you just kind of look into the card, take a breath. You can pause the video if you like, and just allow yourself to be open to receive whatever the messages that's coming out for you. Not analyzing with the mind, just dropping down into the heart, however that feels for you. What catches your eye? Any words coming up, any feelings coming up? And we can do this for all of these cards here. Feel free to pause it. This was the other card I also got for our last reading. Just any thoughts? Where are your eyes landing? Any words, any emotions, any messages for you? And if you're not getting anything too clearly, you can just ask, what is here for me? Hearing awakening, awaken. There is an awakening happening, awakening. Wake up. A peaceful warrior, firm in what you know to be right, firm in justice, firm and strong. Don't forget your strength. Remember. And lastly, I don't know if somebody has a pet fox or something. That'd be pretty cool. Somebody has a fox that lingers around the property or something like that. Maybe that has something to do with, maybe your spirit is akin to that energy. Playful, joyful, beautiful, elegant, cute, cuddly, nurturing. Yeah, beautiful. Trust your talents in changing times. Beautiful. So that's what's coming through. I think we're gonna stop there. See how long the videos are. The videos have been quite long, and any feedback would be really appreciated too. If you guys feel like they're a little long, if they're a little short, which have been about 40 to 50 minutes. So, but I would so appreciate that. Any kind of feedback, and also just feel free to say hi. It's always just so nice to see that people are tuning in, and if you're benefiting, please let me know. And if there's any way I can support you, again, yeah, I do healing work and remote healing right now, obviously, and one-on-one, private sessions doing tarot and other intuitive work, and yeah, as well as teaching meditation and qigong as well. If you're interested in that, then please let me know. Yeah, be happy to support. But thank you. I love you all so much, my dear sisters, brothers, my siblings, earth siblings. Yeah. That feels really good. So many, many blessings to you